Boondock Saints.
Hadn't seen this one in a long time, and I realized that by scenes I just do not remember whatsoever.
Hadn't seen this one.
You hadn't seen this one at all?
Period.
Wow.
Never seen it.
Like, did you grow up in the 90s at all?
You know, it's like, I just never got around to it.
This is a stereotypical college dorm room poster movie.
It is.
There's like certain things, it's like, because it's in every dorm room in America, there's no way you haven't heard it or listened to it.
Oh, I've heard it.
Heard of it.
Oh.
No, sorry, rather, seen it or listened to it. Those things include Bob Marley, Dark Side of the Moon, Pulp Fiction, and Boondock Saints.
Well, I've definitely heard of Boondock Saints, but I did not end up watching it. And you know what's weird is upon watching this, I didn't really realize how much of this movie I really just didn't know. Like, you watch movies like Blues Brothers for the first time, like I did, like this past year, and it's like, okay, I know like the Aretha Franklin scene, like the Carrie Fisher
country
shit, whatever.
And western,
right?
Yeah,
Rawhide.
No, see, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like the same reason I've like waited so long to see Few Good Men. Like, you can handle it. You want truth? You can handle it. It's like
a sing along.
I know. Yeah. They should have those. Like,
here comes this line. You can't handle the truth.
They should have talk-alongs. Anyway.
But this was one of those where it's like, I really didn't realize how much I didn't know about this. I knew it was about two brothers who were killing folks. I knew Willem Dafoe was in it.
Did you know they were vigilantes?
Oh, yeah. I knew that there was like a vigilante justice flick. Didn't know that much else about it, though. And I got to say, I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed this, too. I think I liked it a tiny bit less than I remembered. Because I remember, like, thinking, like, man, this obvious, like, classic movie. And it's like, it's really good. To me, it's like, you know, spoiler for my rating, but it's like 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're, like, a little behind that.
No, I'm not too far. I'd probably give it a 7.
7.
Like, that's my go-to. Like, it was a good movie. I enjoyed watching it. Don't regret watching it at all. Would recommend, I guess.
I mean, there's a lot of interesting, like, stuff in this.
Yeah.
I would say, like, the themes, I mean, they're relatively on the nose at some points, and they're discussed.
Mm-hmm. Especially towards the end.
In an well, especially the ending, it's very heavy-handed. But, I mean, there are some interesting things that come to play, and I thought here's what made me think watching this was interesting, or why now? Mm-hmm. It's like in the height of superhero movies, this is kind of an interesting, like, anti-super or anti-hero type movie. Because it's like the whole idea of vigilantism. And, like, I like the questions it kind of posed, like, who's to decide? Yeah. And then it's like, if someone thinks they know, it's like, well, what makes them right? What makes them know? And it's like, is it divinity or like, in their case, or is it some dogmatic reason?
Some epiphany?
Yeah.
I appreciate the questions, too. God damn it, I wish they came along a lot sooner than, like, towards the end. Because, like, they start killing folks pretty quick. And it's like, I would have liked some sort of pushback as to, like, someone beyond, like, because the movie ends. Spoilers?
Okay. If you haven't seen Boondock Saints, sorry. We're doing full-blown
20
spoilers.
Years too late.
Yeah.
The movie ends with, like, footage of, like, fake news people, not fake news, but, like, fake news, like, reports of, like, people fucking, like, being like, I don't know about the Saints. I don't know how I feel about them. They're killing people. And it's like...
And then there's, like, somebody like, no, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And then the one guy's like, well, sign me up.
Yeah. I'm like, I could have used this a little bit sooner. I like
maybe the beginning of the movie?
Yeah, like, maybe the movie could have started, like, I don't know, somehow. But to me, as I was watching this movie... I felt like the writer-director, Troy Duffy, was, like, saying to me, like, hey, man, isn't this cool? Like, isn't this cool? Like, watch the scene where they shoot these guys in this room and they're, like, upside down. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty cool. And then at the end of the movie, he's like, but is it cool? And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you...
What are you saying?
I'm like, what do you mean? I thought you said it was cool. And I'm like, it's fine.
I don't really think that end... I know that you're more broken up about this ending than I am. Mm-hmm. I just thought the ending was, like... Yeah, it's like a cool, like, yes, cool action movie scenes happen in this movie. But at the end, it's like, they are vigilantes, so this is different.
Right.
It's not like Commando where well, I guess he was a vigilante too. Bad example.
But
it's
they
not like
were
Lethal Weapon where it's like, we're
cops.
Yeah, we came, we saw, we kicked the shit out of them, and we go home happy.
And fuck diplomatic immunity.
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon 2.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I get what you mean. It's like, at least the question's there. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I know. It's so I don't understand what your major ish with it is.
It's just, it felt like it was romanticizing it for a long time, and then all of a sudden it kind of like does a back step, and it's like, but no, it's wrong. And I'm like, I don't believe.
No, I don't think he's saying it's wrong. I disagree with that entirely. I think he's saying
maybe it's wrong.
It could be. Yeah, I think he's saying it could be.
But I feel as though there is no question in Troy Duffy's mind that it is wrong. I think he's like, no, this shit's cool. And I'm like, that's fine. Just own it. Like, be like, yeah, fuck the mob, kill them all, and be like, fine, we can do that.
Yeah.
But I gotta say this. Gotta get this off my chest. The brothers are fine. Like Sean Patrick Flannery and Norman Reedus.
It's the
God damn it! It is the Willem Dafoe show.
Jesus, he's so good in this movie.
This might be like one of my like this might go down as like one of my favorite roles for him. Like this and like Green Goblin and like a couple others.
Green Goblin always will have a special place in my heart because did I love that movie.
Any movie that gives Willem the chance to just chew the fuck out of scenery.
Well, it's also like after watching this, I thought, how could you not choose this guy to be not necessarily Green Goblin, but like how could you not choose him to be in a comic book movie eventually somewhere down the line?
Man, you are straight out of a comic book.
Yeah, man, you come right out of a comic book.
Yeah. He's like throwing himself around the garden, like the one scene where he's like,
they're
at the house or whatever.
Just like a childish tantrum, but he's just so fucking pissed because he's like, he's one of those guys who always wins. Mm-hmm. So he's like,
hates being wrong.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, no, I can't lose, and I won't lose.
Hates getting stumped.
And what's so great is in his tantrum spaz out moment, he does find evidence.
Yeah. It's great. It's a great character. It's legendary performance. And that's not to say that like the McManus brothers stuff is bad. It's good. It's good stuff. It's just, man, every time they had Willem Dafoe talking, like his dialogue is so much more like flowery and like just like well written, and like he's talking about forensics shit, and I'm like, this is fucking interesting. And like every time we see the McManuses, it's good, but they're just like, all right, what's the next job? What are we doing next? And I'm like, okay, they're gonna kill somebody. Whatever.
Yeah, they're just like, we're drinking beers and we have Irish accents, blah blah blah, ta ta ta.
It was fun seeing Willem Dafoe.
Lucky Charms.
Yeah, there you go.
They're magically delicious. Yeah,
it was fun seeing Willem Dafoe figure them out, or try to.
Well, I mean, he sort of does.
Yeah.
That was an interesting turning point I sort of had forgotten.
The confessional scene?
That whole scene is so good.
It's a funny scene. Good scene, too.
It's funny. It's blocked interestingly. It's like...
The dynamics are funny.
Exactly.
Someone's got someone hostage. You got someone hostage.
Yeah, it's just like, I love shit like that. It's like, this is interesting. Mm-hmm. You don't see... Because, like, I like scenes where it's like, how can we, like, one-up what would be a normal scene? It's like, all right, so a confession scene is a good scene for a movie. Mm-hmm.
You get a lot of exposition out.
Yeah. Got a lot of exposition.
Fun setting.
It's a fun setting. It's
themes.
Like the religious theme. Mm-hmm. And then you make it even worse. What if the priest is held hostage? But this guy holding the priest hostage is kind of a moron. So his friend, who's like sort of not his friend, I guess, is holding him like, don't you do anything to this priest,
Right.
Because despite the fact that they, drink and get in fights and murder people, they're very, very Christian.
Yes, they are very devout.
But of course, they are the saints. Mm-hmm. They have the word of God to help them.
Yes.
I just want to say one thing though. Like the shootout with Billy Connolly. Mm-hmm. I know they're trying to be all like stylized and stuff. But how the fuck did all three of them miss? Or sorry, all four of them.
Yeah, no, you look at the car behind Billy Connolly, it's like riddled. I'm like, he didn't take one shot, like not even in the trench coat.
Yeah. No, it's just I don't like the way he's just like standing there all calm. It's like you could still do the thing where he has the 6 guns and like, oh, he looks cool and stuff, but like,
well, you know what it was? It was the divine force of God trying to prevent the boys from killing their father.
I guess there's that. Like
That's just me fucking digging for shit.
Yeah, no. My way of like giving it an out there would have been like, I guess like he's missing on purpose because it's something, I don't know.
Yeah, I also thought Billy Connolly would have had a bigger role in this.
I'd forgotten he was in this.
Because he's not like top billed, but he's like in the thing, and like Billy Connolly's got like big personality, so I just kind of assumed like, okay, he's gonna be like a mentor or something, and he is, but not to the degree. Maybe in 2 he is. Maybe that's where. Maybe I saw the trailers for 2 and got confused.
Well, I heard 2 was no good, so I did not watch it.
That. I also heard it was no good.
Also came like what 12 years later or something.
I think it was like 2004.
No, I think it was 9.
Or no, it was 2009. Jesus.
Yeah,
Christ.
It came a lot later.
10 years later, in fact. Boy, oh boy.
Also, Rocco. We've got some things. That's actually what like. If
I don't
I'm
like
gonna
the character.
Okay. Yeah, I think the actor who plays him is funny, but the character, the way he's written, he sucks. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing I kind of like. I guess the reason they're friends with him is because he has connections to the mob and stuff. But my one thing is like, if they're so about like the divine and like taking criminals off the street, why are they friends with this guy who's an associate of criminals?
And why are they so broken up about him when he gets eventually killed? You know?
Yeah,
because they're like he's their friend. I get that.
It's like
where's the lore or like where's the history?
Bag.
Right. It's like where's the history here?
Also, it's like I maybe would have been willing to let the whole like, well, he's just the errand boy go thing if they're like, nah, let's shoot the other guys at this like gross like whatever like strip like what is it like a like peep show. Yeah. It's like, well, how the hell do you know that those guys weren't just like regular like gross dudes instead of like?
It's like, what do? They went to a peep show place where it's like,
it's like that's seedy.
It's seedy, but it's not like, I don't know. It's like
no, they're not like the like gangsters,
no,
like murderers.
They're not like, it's not like sex trafficking, like the room in Taken where they're bidding on his daughter or whatever. It's
wait,
like,
were those guys mobsters too, or they just but they like say that they're just randoms, right?
See, that's my other issue that I have with the movie is that I feel like so when you have like
their morality rules don't always make perfect sense.
Well, it's that, and it's.
I mean, I know they're supposed to sort of be hypocrites because they're killing, but I thought the idea is pretty simple. Mm-hmm. Those who are like really doing wrong, like the gangsters and the criminals, like those are the ones who are going to get it because divine powers of the Lord, blah blah blah. The saint to something to thee, blah blah blah.
Spiritus Sancti, shit.
Yeah.
So my big issue with the violence, it's not really anything with the violence itself, is that the kills, they're not satisfying enough. They're a little impersonal, and I felt a little detached. So, like, what I mean by that is John Wick.
Yeah.
When everybody gets killed, you want it to happen because you know what those fuckers did to John Wick's dog.
Yeah.
And you know how they're interrelated. This one's just like, character walks up, pause,
that's what I mean.
This guy's a shitbag. I'm like, okay. What did he do to the McManuses? They don't like him. Like, all right.
Or like, he's a criminal. It's like, but what kind of criminal? And that's like the other thing that wasn't super clear, like back to the shootout at that thing. It's like, well, these two other guys, like, were they that bad? Like, what was their deal? Because they kind of made it sound like they're just like randos.
Yeah, or like, I mean, there's a bunch of examples. Like The Punisher, it's like his whole family gets killed by John Travolta. Or like The Untouchables. It doesn't even have to be a revenge plot. The opening scene of The Untouchables, you see that Al Capone is willing to kill children as collateral damage to enforce his law. It's like, I wanted to see more of like the mob inflicting its hold on Boston. We didn't really get that. It's kind of implied. But I think because of that, the satisfaction of the kills suffered a little. Just a little. Yeah.
There's also like, there's that scene where Willem Dafoe is like disguised as a woman. And
it's so wacky.
I was like, what movie is this? Like,
it's so nuts.
That just felt so out of place.
Yeah. It's just like, you know what? We haven't
Especially like the dude hears him talk. It's like so obviously disguised. Like he's like, I'm a girl. It's like, come on, this guy does not think that that's
like
what.
You kind of look like Nosferatu.
Yeah,
like literally a Shadow of the Vampire Nosferatu.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I felt like they were just like, okay, Willem, you've been pretty wacky, but we haven't had the climax of your wackiness yet. What can we do?
Yeah.
We're gonna have you kill some fools in drag. Like, all right, cool.
Yeah, like that scene.
It's wacky. And
that scene, I don't know. It felt very out of place to me. Also, in that scene, another problem. Well, in that sequence, rather, the whole like, we killed Rocco. Oh yeah, we got the other two. Let's just wait a few minutes and then come back to shoot them. And I know this is a trope that bugged, but god damn it,
shoot him now.
This one bugged me more than like a James Bond thing, because at least in James Bond, it's like just James Bond is captured, he's tied up, but they're like, they literally went out of their way to make it extra dumb. Mm-hmm. It was like they punctuated how stupid that was by killing Rocco. Like, yeah, but don't kill the other two guys who clearly were the ones doing most of the dirty work. Mm-hmm. Or like, Rocco's just kind of a tag along. I'm sure if we leave these two dangerous men behind, we'll be absolutely fine.
Right. Yeah, it's a very...
God, that annoyed me.
It's a very imperfect movie in terms of, I guess...
Well, like, in terms of, like, logical progression, there's, like, a few missteps.
A few blemishes. But it's fine. Entertaining.
I think the whole, like... I don't know. It's, like, the whole idea is so cool. And, like, most of the execution was interesting. Mm-hmm. In fact, one of the things I kind of liked, and it took some while to get used to, is they show the murder scenes first. Yeah. And then they go through it. I thought that was kind of a cool way to tell a story.
It eventually, I eventually grew on it. And it a couple times it jarred me. I'm like, what is this? And then like the next few times, I'm like, all right, I'm getting this. I'm getting what's going on.
I think most of the shootout scenes were pretty good. Yeah. Were well done.
Quite well. I mean, the upside down one is probably one of the better ones.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was real cool.
Well, what I like about that is it's one of those like, sort of trying hard to be cool moments, but it was sort of warranted because it was like a mishap. Yeah, and whereas like I don't like for example the back-to-back shooting thing in whichever the hell was the most recent Triple X, whatever it was called. Mm-hmm. Like it was just so cheesy, and there wasn't a rhyme or reason for this. They're trying to be cool, and then they fuck up by falling through the vent.
Yeah, and they're not every shot is a headshot. Like they're shooting guys in like the stomach and like the chest.
They're like, shit, we just gotta carry through with it. Yeah. We don't have a choice.
Right. It's a good scene. A lot of good scenes in this.
I also like the last scene is fantastic in that courtroom. Mm-hmm. I said that badass prayer.
Oh yeah,
it's. Like that was a great culmination of the whole movie type scene. Mm-hmm.
There's a lot. Yeah, it's a good movie. I'm glad I finally saw it. Yeah. This is one that's like, this is one of the biggest cult following movies ever. Because this is a hugely shitty score critic wise, but a massively well.
Well, that was the thing score. Is like it made very little at the box office, and then it made a killing at the DVD or at the. I guess VHSs at the time.
50 million buckos. Yeah, it's a good movie. I'm glad I finally watched it. Troy Duffy, man, interesting story.
Yeah, apparently I have to look into that more. But you've convinced me that it's a tale worth reading up about.
Yeah, the documentary about him is called Overnight. Okay. It's about like his mad dash to success and the self-implosion therein.
Also, just real quick, like young Norman Reedus, I can't believe I never put two and two together.
Yeah, man. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I didn't realize that till I just rewatched it this time. Like, that's definitely him. Mm-hmm. So again, I would give it about a 4 out of 5 because the problems... Like they weren't like this movie is unwatchable. It's just like story things that just kind of bugged me. But overall, you're interested in the characters. I think the strongest thing that made this movie interesting to me was the themes. Mm-hmm. The themes were very present in this movie.
I had a good time with it for sure. Great performance by Ron Jeremy. As well, not the best performance I've seen him give.
I was gonna say like he, man, this was honestly it is a good performance out of him.
He's a shitbag.
He really plays it well in this.
Hams it up.
That guy dies in like every movie he's in. I swear.
One of the best deaths he's ever had is a movie called Hell's Highway.
Yeah.
Very comedic death involving his profession. He gets killed in a way involving, what the man was born to do.
Pornography, yes.
But it's great. It's a great scene.
It's a good movie, apparently. So you'd give this feature film, again, about a
Siete.
A siete.
Yeah. So that's 7 and 4.
That's 11 out of 15. It's
good.
It's not bad. So there you
marks.
have it. 11 out of 15. And if you haven't seen Boondock Saints and you don't mind the fact that we have just basically ruined the whole movie, go ahead and check it out. It's on Netflix now. Or it's on a DVD if it's a Boondock Saints DVD. If it's a DVD of Legally Blonde, it will be Legally Blonde. And if it's a DVD of...
Freddy Got Fingered,
yeah,
it'll be the biggest mistake you ever make in your life.
I disagree entirely. It'll be a great endeavor of anti-humor at its finest.
Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like
I'm
some
not
sausage?
even joking.
Dress?
I've never laughed so hard from a TV spot.
Oh man,
that shit had me dying when I was in 5th grade or whenever that came out.
Good shit.
So there you have it. Boondock Saints is a good one. Go check it out.